My name is Dr. Richard Hayes. I'm 58 years old, a geneticist specializing in evolutionary biology and DNA analysis. And 5 years ago, I discovered something that changed everything I understood about the world. Something that terrifies me. Something I can't fully reveal even now, but something people need to know. This is the story of how a Sasquatch died saving my daughter's life, and how the DNA results from 3 independent labs showed me a truth more horrifying than I could have imagined. August 2019. I was 53 years old, working as senior geneticist at a private research firm called GeneTech Solutions. I'd been there for 15 years, mostly doing evolutionary analysis, genome sequencing, population genetics work. My daughter Claire was 16, brilliant kid, top of her class, interested in biology like me. We were close, had to be. Her mother died shortly after Claire was born, complications from the delivery, so it had been just the 2 of us for 16 years. Every August, Claire and I took a camping trip, just us, deep backcountry. No phones, no connection to the outside world, father-daughter time. Some of my best memories were from those trips. August 12th, 2019, we were in the Cascade Mountains in Washington. Remote area, 6 miles from the nearest trailhead. Beautiful spot, alpine meadows, old-growth forest, a creek running through our campsite. Day 3 of a 5-day trip. We'd hiked, fished, talked about everything. Claire was about to start her junior year, already thinking about colleges, already talking about studying genetics, maybe following in my footsteps. That morning, Claire wanted to hike to a ridge about a mile from camp. She was experienced, responsible. I'd taught her wilderness safety since she was little. So I said yes. She had a GPS, bear spray, emergency whistle, everything she needed. Be back by noon, I told her. We'll have lunch, then head to the lake in the afternoon. I'll be back by 11, she promised. She left around 9 a.m. I stayed at camp, organizing our gear, preparing lunch, enjoying the solitude. At 10:30, I heard screaming. Claire's voice, high-pitched, terrified. The kind of scream that every parent knows instinctively means their child is in mortal danger. I grabbed my bear spray and ran toward the sound through the forest, heart pounding, mind racing with worst-case scenarios. I found them maybe half a mile from camp, in a small clearing surrounded by dense trees. Claire was backed against a rock face, nowhere to run, cornered, and 10 feet in front of her was a grizzly bear. Massive, maybe 800 pounds, dark brown fur, standing on its hind legs, easily 9 feet tall, making huffing sounds, aggressive posture. I'd studied bear behavior, knew the signs. This wasn't a bluff charge. This wasn't a bear trying to scare us away. This was a bear preparing to attack. Claire, don't move, I said, trying to sound calm, failing completely. I had bear spray, but the bear was too close. To Claire. If I sprayed now, the wind would carry it to her too. I'd blind my own daughter. I started moving sideways, trying to get a better angle, trying to draw the bear's attention to me. Hey bear, over here, look at me. The bear looked at me, assessed, decided I wasn't the threat. Turned back to Claire and charged. Not the full distance, just a few feet. Testing, seeing if she'd run, if she'd trigger its chase instinct. Claire didn't move. Good girl, stayed frozen. But I could see the terror on her face. The bear huffed again, dropped to all fours, prepared for a real charge. I was maybe 20 feet away, too far. I wouldn't reach her in time. Even if I sprayed now, the bear would get to her first. I was about to watch my daughter die, and there was nothing I could do. Then something exploded out of the forest, from the left side, moving fast, making sounds, deep, resonant, aggressive. At first my brain couldn't process what I was seeing. My first thought was, another bear. But the shape was wrong. The movement was wrong. It was bipedal, walking on 2 legs, 9 feet tall, maybe more, covered in dark reddish-brown fur, massive shoulders, long arms, moving with a speed that seemed impossible for something that size. A Sasquatch. A fucking Sasquatch. Real. Actual. Impossible. It crashed into the bear with the force of a car collision, literally tackled it. knocked it sideways, away from Claire. The bear roared, tried to right itself. The Sasquatch was already on it. What happened next? I've replayed it in my mind 10,000 times. It was the most violent thing I've ever witnessed. The bear was a killing machine, 800 pounds of muscle and claws and teeth and predatory instinct honed by millions of years of evolution. But the Sasquatch was bigger, stronger, and fighting with a purpose. They grappled, the bear slashing with its claws, the Sasquatch using its superior size to control position. Blood everywhere, I couldn't tell whose. The sounds were nightmare fuel, the bear's roaring. The Sasquatch's vocalizations, deeper than any sound I'd heard from an animal, almost human in their structure. 60 seconds, that's how long the fight lasted. Felt like hours. The Sasquatch got the bear's head in its hands, twisted, hard. I heard the crack from 20 feet away. The bear dropped, dead before it hit the ground, neck broken. The Sasquatch stood over it for a moment, breathing hard, blood pouring from multiple wounds. Then it turned to face us. I stepped in front of Claire, instinctive, protective, stupid. What was I going to do against something that had just killed a grizzly bear with its bare hands? But the Sasquatch didn't approach, just stood there, looking at us. I got my first clear look at its face, not quite human, not quite ape. Somewhere between, flat nose, pronounced brow ridge, deep-set eyes that caught the sunlight. But those eyes, God, those eyes, they were intelligent, aware, conscious in a way that animal eyes aren't. It made a sound, not aggressive, soft, almost questioning. Then it collapsed, just dropped to its knees, then forward, onto its side. For a moment, neither of us moved. Then Claire pushed past me, ran toward it. Claire, wait! But she was already there, kneeling beside this massive creature, looking at its wounds, deep gashes across its chest, one arm nearly severed, claw marks across its face, blood pooling beneath it. It's dying, Claire said, her voice small, scared. Dad, it's dying. It saved me, and now it's dying. I approached slowly, knelt on the other side. My scientific brain was screaming at me. This is impossible. Sasquatch don't exist. This can't be real. But it was real. I was looking at it, touching it, feeling its fur, coarse, thick, blood-soaked. Can we help it? Claire asked. Please, Dad, we have to help it. I examined the wounds. I'm not a medical doctor, but I knew enough. The blood loss was catastrophic. The chest wounds were too deep. Even if we could get it to a hospital, which we couldn't, we were miles from anywhere, it wouldn't survive. I'm sorry, sweetheart. There's nothing we can do. The Sasquatch's eyes opened, looked at Claire, then at me. I saw recognition there, understanding. It knew it was dying, knew what it had done. And somehow, I can't explain this rationally, I knew it didn't regret it. It had chosen to save Claire, knowing it might cost its life, and it would make the same choice again. Claire was crying. Thank you. Thank you for saving me. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. The Sasquatch made a sound, gentle, reassuring, like it was telling her, it's okay. Don't be sad. This was worth it. Then its eyes closed, its breathing stopped, and it was gone. We sat there for a long time, me and Claire, on either side of this impossible creature, in shock. Finally, I spoke. We need to decide what to do. We call for help, Claire said immediately. We report this. Dad, this is the most important discovery in human history. Sasquatch are real. We have proof. I wanted to agree. Every scientific instinct I had was screaming, document this, report it, share it with the world. But another part of me was thinking about consequences. If we report this, what happens? I asked. Government agencies come, military maybe. This body gets seized, we get questioned, detained possibly. This becomes a media circus, and this creature that died saving your life, it becomes a specimen, dissected, studied, displayed in some lab somewhere. No dignity, no respect. But people need to know, maybe, but not like this. Not yet. I was thinking fast, making decisions that would change everything. I'm a geneticist. I have access to equipment, labs, resources. What if we document this ourselves first? Take samples, analyze them, understand what this is before we decide what to do with the information? You want to hide this. I want to understand it. Then we can make an informed decision about what to reveal and how. Claire looked at the Sasquatch, at this being that it saved her life. What do we do with him? We bury him, respectfully. We can always come back, always exhume if needed, but for now, we give him dignity. We spent the next 2 hours working. It felt wrong, desecrating remains, but I kept telling myself, this is for understanding, this is for knowledge. I took tissue samples, blood samples, hair samples, photographed everything from multiple angles, measured, documented. My phone had no signal, but the camera still worked. Claire helped. She was in shock, traumatized, but her scientific training kicked in. She held measuring tape, took notes, helped me collect samples in the sterile containers I had in our first aid kit. The creature was male, adult, maybe 9.5 feet tall, 800 to 900 pounds. Hands were enormous but proportioned like human hands. Opposable thumbs, articulated fingers. Feet were massive, 18 inches long, 6 inches wide. Face was the most striking feature, that blend of human and ape. If I'd seen this in a photo, I'd have said it was fake, a costume, CGI. But I was touching it. This was real tissue, real bone, real biology. When we'd collected everything we could, we found a spot, maybe 100 yards from where it died. Soft earth, surrounded by trees. We dug for 3 hours. Deep grave, 6 feet down. Respectful. We wrapped the body in a tarp from our camping gear, lowered it carefully, filled the grave, covered it with rocks to prevent scavengers from digging it up. Claire placed wildflowers on top, said a few words. Thank you for my life. I'll never forget you. I'll make sure your sacrifice matters. We marked the location carefully. GPS coordinates, landmarks, photos. We could find it again if we needed to. Then we hiked out. Left our camping gear. We'd come back for it later. Just took essentials and the samples. We reached the trailhead at dusk, drove to the nearest town. I took Claire to a clinic for evaluation. Minor scrapes and bruises. Shock. They treated her, gave her something to help her sleep, released her. I filed a report about the bear attack, gave location. Search and rescue went out, found the dead bear, confirmed the story. Lucky you weren't hurt worse, the ranger said. I didn't mention the Sasquatch, neither did Claire. We drove home to Seattle in silence, both processing, both knowing everything had changed. When we got home, I went immediately to my home lab. Small setup in the garage, enough for preliminary analysis. I had samples from an unknown primate, possibly the most significant biological discovery in a century, and I had access to 3 different DNA analysis labs, one through my work, one through a colleague at Berkeley, one through a private contractor we used occasionally. I made a decision. I'd send samples to all 3, independently. Wouldn't tell them what it was or where it came from, just label it unknown primate, Pacific Northwest origin. See what they found, compare results. Make sure I wasn't imagining things. Make sure the results were real. I prepared the samples carefully, labeled them, packaged them, sent them off to 3 different labs, expected results in 4 to 6 weeks, and I waited, trying to process what we'd witnessed, trying to help Claire process her trauma. She was struggling. Nightmares, anxiety, survivor's guilt. It died for me, she'd say. Why? It didn't know me. Why would it sacrifice itself? I don't know. Some beings are capable of altruism that transcends logic. Maybe it saw you in danger and couldn't not act. Maybe that's what makes something a person. The capacity to choose sacrifice. Was it a person? It looked almost human. I don't know what it was, but I'm going to find out. September passed. October arrived. I was obsessing over the samples, checking email constantly, waiting for results. Claire started seeing a therapist, someone who specialized in trauma. We couldn't tell her the full story, of course, but we told her enough. A bear attack. Something scared the bear away. Claire witnessed violence. Now she's processing. It seemed to help. Claire was resilient, strong. She'd survive this, but it would mark her forever. October 15th, 2019, the first results arrived from GeneTech, my own lab. Email from the technician I'd asked to run the analysis. Subject line, results on sample. Number 7743, this is extraordinary. I opened it, started reading, and felt my blood turn to ice. Preliminary DNA analysis complete. Results are highly unusual and require verification. Sample shows 96.4% genetic similarity to Homo sapiens, but with significant deviations in chromosome structure and gene expression. Recommend immediate follow-up and... I stopped reading, stood up from my desk, started pacing. 96.4% human. This creature wasn't just some unknown primate. It wasn't some missing link. It wasn't natural evolution. It was almost human. Too human. Something was very, very wrong. I read the email 3 more times, then I called the lab technician directly. Marcus, it's Dr. Hayes. I just got your preliminary results on sample 7743. Walk me through this. 96.4% human. That can't be right. I triple-checked it, Marcus said. Thought there was contamination at first. Ran it again with fresh sample. Same results. Dr. Hayes, where did you get this sample? I can't disclose that yet. What else did you find? That's the thing. It's not just the similarity. It's the differences. The sample has 24 chromosome pairs. I felt my stomach drop. Humans have 23. Exactly. This has 1 extra pair, and when I looked at the gene sequences... Dr. Hayes, some of these markers don't look natural. They look deliberate. Deliberate? What do you mean? I mean they look engineered, modified. Like someone took a human genome and made specific targeted changes. I've seen this kind of pattern in lab work, in genetic modification research. But this sample, you said it's from a primate found in the wild. That's what I said. Then I don't understand. These modifications would require advanced genetic engineering, and not recent. Based on the distribution through the genome, these changes were made generations ago, maybe centuries. I sat down slowly. Send me the complete analysis, everything you have. And Marcus, don't share this with anyone. Not yet, not until I can verify. Dr. Hayes, this is massive. If this is real, I know what it is. That's why we need to be careful. Send me everything. Mark it confidential. I hung up. Sat staring at my computer screen. Engineered. Centuries ago. Someone had created this creature. Deliberately modified a human genome. Made something new. But who? When? Why? And how many more were there? October 22nd, 2019, 7 days later. The second results arrived from Berkeley. Dr. Patricia Wu, a colleague I'd worked with for years, called me directly. Richard, what the hell did you send me? What did you find? What didn't I find? This sample is incredible. The genetic structure is clearly derived from human ancestry, but with systematic modifications across multiple systems, enhanced muscle development genes, accelerated healing factors, improved sensory perception markers. Richard, this reads like a wish list for human enhancement. Could these be natural mutations? No, absolutely not. These are too specific, too coordinated. Look at the muscle enhancement alone. 3 different genes modified in complementary ways. That doesn't happen randomly. Someone designed this. How long ago? That's the fascinating part. I can estimate based on genetic drift and mutation accumulation. These modifications were introduced somewhere between 150 and 250 years ago, give or take. 1800s. Someone in the 1800s had the knowledge and capability to perform advanced genetic engineering. That should have been impossible. Patricia, I need you to keep this confidential for now. Richard, we need to publish. This could revolutionize our understanding of... I know, but there are complications. I need to verify the source. Make sure this isn't some hoax or contamination. Give me time. How much time? A few weeks. Please, trust me on this. She wasn't happy, but she agreed. Sent me her complete analysis. Over 100 pages of detailed genetic breakdown. I spent that night reading every page, making notes, cross-referencing with the gene tech results. Both labs had found the same thing: enhanced genes, deliberate modifications, ancient engineering. But there was more in Patricia's analysis. She'd done mitochondrial DNA testing, the genetic material passed down through the maternal line. The mitochondrial DNA was human, completely, normally human, European ancestry specifically, meaning somewhere in this creature's lineage there was a human woman, a mother who was fully human. But the Y chromosome, passed through the paternal line, showed markers that didn't match any known primate. Not human, not chimpanzee, not gorilla. Something else, something extinct, a hybrid. Human mother, non-human father, or vice versa, mixed deliberately, generations ago. I felt sick. What I was looking at wasn't just genetic engineering. It was hybridization. Someone had mixed human DNA with something else, created something new, something that could survive in the wild, something that looked almost human but wasn't. October 28th, 2019, the third results arrived from Helix Bio Research, the private contractor. This one was different, more detailed, more disturbing. Dr. Marcus Chen, the lead researcher, called me immediately. Dr. Hayes, I need to meet with you in person. This is too sensitive for phone or email. What did you find? Things that don't make sense. Things that are frankly terrifying. Can you come to the lab today? I drove to Helix's facility in Bellevue. Marcus met me in a secure conference room. He looked shaken. I've been doing genetic analysis for 20 years, he said. I've never seen anything like this. He pulled up data on his laptop, showed me charts, sequences, comparisons. Your sample, I ran it through our entire database, looking for any matches, any connections to known genomes, and I found something. What? 14 matches, partial matches, familial DNA. Meaning what? Meaning your sample shares genetic markers with 14 different individuals in missing persons databases. People who disappeared in the Pacific Northwest over the past 50 years. The DNA similarity suggests family relationships, not parent-child, more like distant cousins, but definite genetic connection. The room felt like it was spinning. How is that possible? Only one explanation I can think of. Your sample's lineage has been interbreeding with humans, recently, within the past few generations, either consensually or not consensually. I thought about the missing persons cases, hikers who'd vanished in remote wilderness areas, bodies never found, families never given answers. There's more. Marcus continued. I found genetic markers suggesting not just one individual, but a population, a small population. Based on genetic diversity analysis, I'd estimate maybe 40 to 60 individuals total, all sharing this same modified genome, all living somewhere in the Pacific Northwest. You're telling me there's a population of these beings hiding in the wilderness, breeding with humans occasionally, and they've been doing this for generations. That's what the data suggests. Richard, where did you get this sample? What is this? We need to study this population. This could be the most important anthropological discovery in history. I can't tell you yet. I need to think about this, about what it means. You have to. I said I need time. I stood up, started pacing, mind racing. A population, 40 to 60 individuals, living hidden for centuries. with genetic modifications that shouldn't be possible, and they'd been taking people, or breeding with people, for generations. Dr. Hayes, I've already had inquiries about this sample. I stopped. What? Someone contacted me yesterday, asking about recent unusual samples we'd analyzed. I didn't give them information, but they were very interested, very insistent. Government types, I think, or military. You didn't tell them anything? Of course not. Client confidentiality. But they seemed to already know something, like they were fishing for confirmation. Someone was watching. Someone knew I had samples, knew I was asking questions. Destroy all records of this analysis, I said. Right now. Wipe everything. I can't do that. These are significant findings. Marcus, listen to me. If people are already asking questions, that means this is dangerous. For both of us, please, destroy the records. Pretend this never happened. He looked at me for a long moment, then nodded. You're scared, I can see that. Okay, I'll wipe everything. But Richard, be careful. Whatever this is, someone doesn't want it known. I left the facility, drove home in a daze, trying to process everything. That night, I sat Claire down, told her everything I'd learned. The creature that saved you wasn't natural. It was made, engineered. Someone, centuries ago, took human DNA and modified it, created something new. And there are more of them. Maybe 50, maybe less. Living hidden in the forests. Claire was quiet for a long time. Then, who made them? Why? I don't know, but I'm going to find out. And the missing people, the familial DNA matches? I don't know what that means. Maybe they've been taking people. Maybe people got lost and these creatures helped them, formed relationships. Maybe it's darker than that. I don't know. The one that saved me. He chose to help. He didn't have to. He could have let the bear kill me and walked away. But he didn't. That means something, doesn't it? That means, despite whatever they were created to be, they became something else, something good. I wanted to believe that, wanted to believe the creature that died was representative, that these beings were benevolent, but the data suggested something more complicated, something darker. November 2019. I started researching, using every resource I had, looking for any historical reference to genetic engineering in the 1800s, any clues about who could have done this, and I found something, hidden in old academic journals, references to a group called the Council of Progressive Biology, operating in the early 1800s, supposedly disbanded, but mentioned in connection with experiments on improving the human form. I dug deeper, found a few names, scientists, doctors, wealthy patrons, all from prominent families of the era, and found something else. Some of those families were still around, still prominent, still wealthy, with positions in government, military, corporate world. Was it connected, or was I seeing patterns that weren't there? December 2019, strange things started happening. My lab at Gene Tech was broken into, nothing stolen, but files were accessed. Digital forensics showed someone had searched specifically for my recent projects. I found my home security camera had captured footage of someone watching my house, just standing across the street, watching, too far away to identify. Phone calls, hang-ups, a feeling of being followed. Then Patricia called from Berkeley. Richard, something happened. Federal agents came to my lab, took all my data on that sample you sent, said it was part of a classified investigation. They made me sign an NDA, threatened legal action if I discussed it with anyone. What the hell is going on? I don't know. I'm sorry I involved you. Richard, who are these people? What did you find? I can't tell you, for your safety. Please, just forget about it. I hung up, sat in my office, terrified. Someone new, someone powerful, and they were watching. January 2020, I received a package, unmarked, left on my doorstep. Inside, all my samples, The tissue, blood, hair I'd collected and stored securely. They'd been taken from my locked storage. Also inside, a USB drive and a note, unsigned, typed. The note read, "You've seen what you weren't meant to see. The creature that died was one of 47 remaining. They are protected. Your discovery threatens that protection. Destroy all data. Forget this, or there will be consequences. Your daughter is brilliant, has so much potential. Would be terrible if something prevented her from reaching it. A clear threat against Claire." I plugged in the USB drive with shaking hands. It contained video footage of the burial site, the exact location where we buried the Sasquatch. Someone had been there, had documented it, had been watching us from the beginning. More footage. Me and Claire hiking out of the forest, us at the clinic, us driving home. Every step documented, and documents, lists of communications. Every call I'd made to the labs, every email, every conversation, all documented. They'd been watching everything from the moment it happened. The final file on the drive was labeled Acknowledgement. I opened it. A form, essentially stating that I would cease all investigation, destroy all evidence, and never speak of this to anyone. And at the bottom, sign and return within 48 hours, or protective protocols will be initiated. I didn't know what protective protocols meant, but I could guess, and it involved Claire. I showed her the package, the note, the videos. "They're threatening us," she said. "They're threatening you, to control me." So what do we do? I looked at my daughter, my brilliant, brave daughter, the only family I had. The person I died to protect. We comply. For now, we destroy everything. We stop investigating. We stay quiet. Dad, no. That creature died for me. We can't just... We can and we will. Because if we don't, they'll hurt you. And I won't risk that. I won't. But this isn't up for debate. Over the next week, I destroyed everything. Every sample, every note, every photo. Contacted all 3 labs and requested destruction of all materials. Said the samples were contaminated, results invalid. Marcus and Patricia were confused, but they complied. I deleted every file, wiped every drive, removed every trace, except one thing, one encrypted backup, hidden, that I swore I'd never access unless I had no other choice. And I sent back the acknowledgement form, signed. February 2020 passed. March arrived. The surveillance seemed to stop. The threats ceased. We'd complied. We were being left alone. But I couldn't stop thinking about it. Couldn't stop wondering. Who were these people? Why protect the Sasquatch so aggressively? What were they hiding? March 15th, 2020. I received one more package. Inside, a historical document, photocopied from 1823, a journal entry, written by someone named Dr. Elias Morrow. I started reading and felt my blood turn to ice. March 20th, 1823. The Council convened today to review progress on Project Genesis. I'm pleased to report successful hybridization in 12 subjects. The combination of human and indigenous specimen genetic material has produced viable offspring with desired characteristics, enhanced physical capabilities, improved adaptations for wilderness survival, sufficient cognitive function for tool use, and basic problem solving. The Council is satisfied with results. The 12 subjects will be released into the territories to determine long-term viability. If they survive, propagate, and adapt, we will have succeeded in our goal of creating an improved species, one that combines human intelligence with superior physical form. All original subjects have been disposed of as planned. No evidence remains of the methods employed. The Council's investment has produced extraordinary results. We are truly playing at God's work now. I read it 3 times, then sat back, stunned. They weren't just protecting Sasquatch, they created them, deliberately, as an experiment. And whoever sent me this document, they wanted me to know the truth. But why? I stared at that 1823 journal entry for hours. Dr. Elias Morrow, Project Genesis. 12 subjects created by combining human DNA with extinct hominid remains. They weren't natural, they were made. Engineered 200 years ago through methods that shouldn't have been possible. And someone had sent me this document. Why? I researched carefully over the next months, using library computers, public Wi-Fi, nothing traceable. Found references to the Council of Progressive Biology, supposedly disbanded in 1847, but hints suggested they'd gone underground. I found the founding families, 12 of them. 8 were still prominent today. Wealthy, powerful, positions in government and biotech. April 2020. Through encrypted channels, I connected with others who'd been suppressed, a scientist who'd found remains, a ranger who'd witnessed an encounter, a journalist whose investigation was killed. We shared information, built a picture. The council was real, still operating, still managing the Sasquatch population. But why protect them so aggressively? May 2020. I found more historical documents. The truth was worse than I'd imagined. The original 12 subjects weren't just created, they were tortured, conditioned, then released into wilderness. The women used as surrogates, 23 indigenous women and prisoners. Most died. The survivors were disposed of. Morrow had found extinct hominid remains in a Montana cave, extracted DNA, combined it with human genetic material using techniques we're only beginning to understand now. June 2020, I found evidence of modern management. Leaked documents showed the council still tracked all 47 Sasquatch. When population grew above 50, they culled individuals, and every few generations, they introduced fresh genetic material, meaning forced breeding with kidnapped humans, the missing persons cases, the familial DNA. It wasn't consensual, it was orchestrated. I was physically sick. 200 years of playing God, creating life, managing life, ending life, all in secret. Claire found me one night, drinking, broken. I told her everything. "We have to stop them," she said. "How? And what happens to the Sasquatch when we expose this? Government seizure? Military weaponization? Extinction?" We had no good answers. September 2020, I received another email. Anonymous, Dr. Hayes. The council is not monolithic. Factions exist. Some want continued secrecy. Others recognize the system is unsustainable. You have skills we need. Genetic expertise. The population suffers from inbreeding depression. Work with us. Help preserve them. In exchange, access, study them, shape their future. Your daughter gets closure. Alternative is exposure. Government intervention. Corporate exploitation. Probable extinction. 1 week to respond. October 2020. Against Claire's wishes, I met with them. Thomas Elbridge and Dr. Sophia Morrow, descendant of the original scientist. They showed me data. The Sasquatch population was dying. Genetic diseases, declining fertility, below minimum viable population. Work with us, Sophia said. Help transition from the old ways to something ethical, true conservation. And I'm supposed to trust you? No, but you should care more about their survival than revenge. If you expose this now, they become government property. Lab specimens, weapons, chews. The data was real. They were dying. Without help, extinct in 3 generations, November 2020. I accepted. With conditions, full transparency, Claire participates. Long-term goal is liberation, not control. They agreed. I became part of the system I hated, but told myself, I'm doing it for them, for the 47. For 4 years, 2021 through 2024, I worked within the council, developed ethical conservation protocols, genetic management without culling or forced breeding, medical interventions. It worked. Population stabilized, health improved. No culling in 3 years, no kidnappings in 4. But it wasn't enough. Ethical management is still management. still ownership. Claire joined me in 2021. Double major, genetics and ethics. Her trauma transformed into purpose. July 2023. We were granted direct observation. Saw the Sasquatch living. Saw the family descended from the one who saved Claire. His sacrifice mattered, Claire cried. His family survived. It's not enough, I said. They deserve freedom. We kept working, documenting everything, building evidence, planning for exposure, waiting for the right moment, and secretly preparing to betray the people who trusted us, to free the 47, whatever it took. Present day, 2024, 5 years since the attack. Claire is 21, finishing her senior year, and we're ready. 4 years inside, the council gave us everything we need. Complete documentation, genetic evidence, historical records, names, crimes. March 2024. I proposed radical change to the council. Legal recognition of Sasquatch as sovereign people with rights. The traditionalists were outraged. There are experiments, our property. You can't own people, Claire said. It will become public eventually, I argued. When it does, how do you want to be remembered? As slavers or liberators? The meeting ended badly, but the reformers stayed. We need leverage, Thomas said. Public pressure. Then we create it. April 2024. We built our insurance, encrypted backups, evidence distributed to trusted parties. Dead man switch. If anything happens to us, everything gets released. Then one more thing. We needed to meet them. Face to face. Ask if they wanted freedom. May 2024. Sophia arranged it. Deep in Olympic National Forest. The largest family group. 12 individuals. An adult male approached. Sophia translated our intentions through vocalizations. Claire spoke. Your relative died saving me 5 years ago. His sacrifice started this. We're fighting for your freedom. But we need to know, do you want to be free? The male made sounds. The adults debated. Language. Decision-making. Finally, we are prisoners. We want freedom. But freedom might mean death. What do we choose? Freedom is risky, I said through Sophia. But imprisonment is certain extinction. Your population is too small. Without freedom to expand, make your own choices, you'll die. Freedom is the only path to survival. More discussion. Then, help us be free. We trust you. The weight of that trust was crushing. We couldn't fail. June 2024, we began the leak. Documents to journalists, researchers, oversight committees, human rights organizations. Marcus Webb published first. Genetic Engineering in 1823, the 200-year cover-up. It went viral. International attention. Investigations opened. The council panicked, tried to suppress. But the story was too big. The traditionalists threatened us. But our dead man switch worked. They backed down. July 2024. With public pressure mounting, the reformist faction pushed for radical solution. Public acknowledgement and legal recognition. It passed. Barely. 7 families yes, 5 no. August 2024. The announcement, the council, now Genesis Foundation, admitted everything. Apologized. Proposed new framework. Sasquatch recognized as indigenous people. Protected territory. Autonomy. Foundation transitions from ownership to support. Public reaction was complex. Outrage, fascination, debate. But the tide turned toward recognition. Toward justice. September 2024. First Sasquatch delegation met with human officials, using translation and simple communication we'd taught them. They spoke, shared their history, their suffering, their hopes. People listened, saw them as people. October 2024. Legal recognition granted. The 47 were free. After 200 years. Present day. November 2024. Claire and I returned to the burial site, placed flowers, spoke to the being who started everything. Your sacrifice freed your entire species, Claire said. You mattered. Your choice rippled forward and changed everything. When we hiked back, the male from May was waiting. He approached, touched our shoulders, gesture of family, bond. "Thank you for freedom," he vocalized. We understood. "Thank you for trusting us," Claire responded in their language. He made a sound like laughter, then walked into the forest. Free. I'm telling the story publicly now because it's over. The Sasquatch are free. The Council's control is ended. But people need to understand the full truth. 200 years ago, powerful men created a species through evil. But those beings transcended their origins, chose compassion. One chose to save my daughter. That choice led to freedom for all. The DNA told me what they are: engineered hybrids, created through atrocities. But their actions showed me who they are: people capable of sacrifice and love. There are still challenges. 47 isn't enough for long-term survival. We're working on it, expanding territory, finding other populations. It'll take generations. But they're free. That's what matters. Claire and I are dedicating our lives to this work: conservation, advocacy, ensuring the transition succeeds. My name is Dr. Richard Hayes. 5 years ago, a Sasquatch died saving my daughter. I sent his DNA to 3 labs. What I learned terrified me: that these beings were enslaved for 2 centuries. But I also learned something beautiful. Beings created without freedom can still choose good, still choose sacrifice, still choose love. And that choice freed an entire species. To the Sasquatch who died, you're remembered, you mattered, you changed the world. To the 47, you're free now, thrive, become everything you were meant to be. The DNA told us what they are, but their actions showed us who they are. Family. Different, but family. Welcome to freedom. Welcome home.